Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Captain Widescreen, back again with another video. Today is another chapter of the Female Friendship Guide. This book right here that my mom wrote with a colleague of hers named Emilia. Now let's get into it. So today we're going into chapter 9, which is called Making New Friends. So there's a couple of key learning points, and the first one is if you want to make new friends, don't let your fears get the better of you. Lots of people are looking for new friends too. Secondly, you can make friends in unexpected ways if you stay mindful of your goal and aware of the opportunities around you. Thirdly, introverts may approach making friendships differently. So the first discussion question is, are you interested in making new friends? Why or why not? So I will always say that I'm interested in making new friends, but I don't necessarily need new friends, if that makes sense. So for me, for example, I have some lifelong friends. These are people that have known me from before I lost teeth, okay? And some of those people are still in my life to this very day, and some of my closest friends. However, I've also met multiple people throughout my life and throughout my years on this earth that have developed strong bonds and friendships with me as well. And I love all of them, but they are all just at different points in my life. However, I am not opposed to meeting new people and eventually forming friendships because I'm very big on intuition and trusting my gut. And I like to just suss the vibe out and see how people are. And how they respond or react to certain things makes me consider wanting to hang out with them more or less, essentially. How can you add more friends to your network or deepen relationships with those who might contribute to your sense of fulfillment and happiness? I think I'm actually in the process of doing that right now. For me, I tend to gravitate towards creatives and other creative people. We have an understanding of each other that no one really is gonna get, right? And I've made some connections and made some friendships from people that I've met literally last month, which is kind of insane, or maybe the end of October. But either way, it was close to November, so I'm calling it last month, right? So long story short is I always feel like there's an opportunity for you to check in with people, ask them about stuff that makes them interested, even if it's something that's not interesting to you. That can be a big help in starting to develop a friendship and a rapport, because especially when you ask somebody something, ask a question to a potential friend about something that is a genuine passion of theirs, you will see how much they light up as they talk about it. I do that all the time when I talk about editing. I know I do it all the time when I talk about my favorite movies, for example, because there's just certain things that people just have an affinity towards that you're never going to see with other stuff, right? So long story short, that's a good way to sort of add more friends, deepen your network, etc., right? Another thing that I do occasionally is, let's say I'm out at an event, and I'm the type of person who is okay to go to events by myself. I've been to at least 8 concerts now by myself. I used to go to the movies almost once a week by myself, okay? I haven't done dinner by myself because I don't really like to eat outside that much to begin with, but movies, concerts, best believe you probably will see me at one on my ones if no one else is able to go with me, right? But what I started doing at certain events or when I was outside was just, if I saw a girl and I liked something on her outfit, if I liked her hair, if I liked her nails, I would just tell her. 9 times out of 10, that's going to make that girl's whole day, right? She's going to be super excited to just know that somebody else likes something that she put time, effort, money, etc. into doing. And it makes me happy because I like making other people happy. I like complimenting people. It's the best part of my day because when you get that one compliment from a girl, it changes your entire mood, right? I've actually met a couple of people on TikTok that way. I've met a couple of people on Instagram that way. I've added new people that way, just literally by saying oh girl, I love your outfit. And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. I got it from so-and-so, because I do the same thing. Somebody complimented me on my hat recently, and I was like, oh girl, I got it from this place. You should go buy this. Actually, let me send you my list because I was ready to go. I was ready for them, okay? So that's another way that you can do so. And then, for example, if you know your friend is into a certain particular thing, send them something. If you come across on your For You page on TikTok, for example, a post that you think your friend would like, send it over to them. If they mention at some point that they're getting too many messages, don't send it. Just chill, But like, if it's something that you both would usually love, like, laugh at, or something that is interesting to them, or something that could help them with something that they were looking for, those are multiple reasons to do so. And especially check in on your people. Randomly sometimes, and my friends do it too, and I appreciate every single one of you, because not every friend for me needs to be like a texting everyday type of thing, but I'll just get these urges every now and then, like, I keep thinking about this person, wonder what they're up to, and I'll just text them, be like, hey, just checking in on you, are you good? And then they'll be like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you too. Or they'll be like, oh yeah, like, I've been going through some stuff, da-da-da-da. Just, when they come across your mind, just send them a little, hey, thinking about you message, and it'll go a long way, trust me. How did you meet your newest friend? Okay, so I think my most recent friends I met at the same, I don't know if I spoke about this earlier in a different clip, but like, in either case, the newest friends that I met a couple of weeks ago, maybe more than 6 weeks ago now. But long story short, it was a whirlwind weekend. The Thursday, I had gone to a concept space. It's hosted by YouTube, sponsored by House Labs, etc., etc. They always have these really great community nights. I wanted to show off something that me and my brother had put together, a little video edit. It's actually in my shorts, so if you check right up here, that's the link to the video. So I wanted to present it and share it with people to get feedback. And one girl came up to me after everything was said and done and was like, hey, I really liked your video. You guys such a vibe. And I looked at her and I was like, oh, we're going to be friends. I said that immediately because I was like, she just gave good energy, right? Then she introduced me to her good friends the next day. And the rest is kind of history because now we have a little group chat. We had Friendsmas this week. It was such a good time, right? So I really enjoyed that because sometimes you just catch a vibe and you meet people at certain places or spaces or whatever, right? Are there particular qualities you want to have in a new friend? How might you ensure that your new friend has these qualities? So I don't necessarily have any particular wants of my friends. I want them to be exactly who they are because I treat friendships the same way that I treat romantic relationships. Let them people show you who they are and believe them the first time that they show you, okay? Because there are some people that are good vibes and there's some people that are bad vibes. I don't know how to teach discernment, but I know it when I feel it. And you do too. And a lot of times you probably gaslight yourself into thinking like, oh, this friend's not that bad, or this person isn't that weird, or maybe I'm just overplaying things. If you feel off about it, it's because you probably are feeling off about it. Like, obviously, if you're going through trauma, if you don't have healthy relationships, you don't know what you're missing or what you're not looking for, that's very different. But let's say you grew up with healthy relationships, healthy boundaries, you were able to communicate with your friends, etc., and you have one friend that's just something a little bit weird, but you keep saying, well, maybe I'll give them another chance. Maybe I'll da-da-da-da. That is the universe, the Lord, whoever you want to say, telling you, girl, that person is not for you, okay? Because think about it this way. I've had romantic dates where the man has said, what's your type? What are you interested in? What are you looking for in a man? And I've said, I don't have an interest. I just like what I like and I know what I'm looking for. Because if you're a decent person, if you have a good heart, that will show every time. But most people don't like that because they think that it's they can't figure out how they're gonna win your affection. I don't want you to fake the funk with me and then resent me for changing who you are because of me. If you want to be a particular type of way or you already are a type of way, then we're gonna vibe. But I just have to get to know you and then I'll assess from there. And 9 times out of 10, the people that I get the good vibes from immediately turn into longer term people. And the people I get bad vibes from, whether or not it appears right away, it always comes to fruition. All it takes is one little and all of a sudden, things start coming to light. You didn't even ask for them, but that's that discernment for you, okay? So the other way that I ensure that people have the right qualities for me is just by being around them. Literally, like, talking with people, getting to know their vibe, asking them how they'd respond to certain situations. And a big one for me, how do you treat service workers in your life? customer service, wait staff, bartenders, etc., etc. I need to know, because if you treat them like crap, you're going to treat everybody else in your life like crap. Because as soon as they're in a position of servitude, you're going to treat them like they mean absolutely nothing to you. And I don't like that. I used to work in retail. I used to work customer service. I don't like when people treat customer service individuals like crap, because that means it's an attack on a place that I used to be at. And it's not good that you're taking your stuff out on probably some 16, 17, 18-year-old kid who's just trying to make a little dollar or two, and you're mad because what? Something happened in your life, so you didn't take it out on a cashier? So that's one good way. Ask them how they what they think about customer service people and how they actually react around customer service people when the time comes. Okay? Are there specific interests you would like to have in common with your friend? I think it depends. It depends on what you want this friendship to be. Are you looking for a best friend or are you looking for a friend? Because they can be kind of different, right? For me, like, some of my friends, we have collective interests. Like, could be fashion, it could be movies, it could be makeup, it could be whatever, right? And other friends that are some of my closest people, they're not into stuff that I'm into, and vice versa. But that's not what my expectation is. Like, we like to talk, we like to encourage each other, we like to kiki. That's where I'm at with my friends right now. But specific interests, being a good person, treating people well, those are interests that I think that everyone should have. But I think outside of that, I'm not really sure I have any specific interests that I like in my friends. Let's say with the friends that I do, we all kind of understand each other and we feel a particular type of way. Typically, how you react to romantic relationships is going to be a good telltale sign for me. Another thing that I will say is, like, I like friends who are also interested in the creative space. It's just easier for me to be able to explain my brain, because when I talk to people who aren't creative and try to explain like what I do on a day-to-day or what my thought process is when I'm trying to be creative. Like, one time in university, I was trying to explain to a couple of my classmates and a few of my friends in uni that I write papers chaotically, right? Because, business major here. I used to be writing papers left and right. Essentially what I would do, I would find all my research first. I'd have all my sources ready, and then I'd sit and mull about it. And then one day, when it was the day that I designated to write that paper, I'd sit down and I'd write it. Sometimes I'd start in the middle. Sometimes I'd be writing a sentence and I'd get an idea and I'd write a whole intro paragraph. Then the intro would turn into my conclusion. My conclusion might turn into my intro. Everything's going to come together eventually, but I can never write a paper from start to finish. I'll be adding in, taking out, moving parts, etc., until I have a cohesive thought. I wrote a 10-page paper like that once. Everyone was like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, I know it doesn't, but that's how my brain works. How am I supposed to help you? So I guess I must have different kind of views than other people, but let me know, because maybe you're like me. What's one way of making new friends that you'd like to try in the next month? Calming all the way down. I have been in a headspace where things have not been good for a long time. For a variety of factors. One that I touched on in the very first video that I posted since I returned to YouTube again this year. I mostly just need to focus on the friends that I have. I want to maintain the friends that I have. I really like the friends that I have right now, and I need to chill out. I can't say that I'm necessarily interested in making new friends, but I can definitely say that I'm open. I have certain interests. I have certain things that I like doing, musical artists that I love going to their concerts and seeing things. So I know now that I have friends that I can reach out to and go from there. Or there are people that are like more acquaintances that I feel like could potentially be friends with me at some point. And I probably will consider, deepening those connections. But here's some advice that I'd give you if you're looking to try and make friends in the next couple of months. So firstly, for me, just like it says in the book, it's good to try to reach out by different spots. So you can make friends by, interviewing for roommates if you're in the position to be looking for a roommate right now. Attending professional development conferences or professional related meetings in your field. That's a good way if you want to make more connections within your career. Joining a co-working space specifically for women because, girls out here. phone apps to meet new friends like Bumble BFF. I've heard good things from people wanting to meet up with people. I actually saw a TikTok video from two Toronto girlies that met on Bumble BFF, and they ended up having a good little dinner time date together. And I was like, that's so amazing. I love that. So that's another place that you could try. You could reconnect with old friends because they might be in a different space than where you were, like, let's say in high school, for example. I'm 27. I graduated high school 9 years ago. It's about to be 10 soon, which is insane, right? But that could be another way that you could end up finding friends too, is reconnecting with old friends or old acquaintances that you used to have that now are in a different spot. Maybe through mutual friends, because I've developed good friendships with friends of friends that we didn't even know that we had connections, people in common, or different things that we like, just enjoy together. And then as we talked and our connection got deeper, now I can go to friends events or friends of friends events without needing my friend that introduces there sometimes, which is a wonderful way to also expand your circle of friends. Now, if you were an introvert like me, this is going to be a little bit different, because I will say a lot of the people that I met is thanks to my extroverted brother. He is an extrovert. He likes to talk to people. People gravitate towards him. He has a smile that can warm the room. Or I've benefited quite a bit from him being able to do that, right? But I am an introverted person. My social battery goes, and I am ready to go. I don't want to talk to nobody. I want to look at nobody. Just leave me alone, basically. So, for introverts, unfortunately, girlies, you're going to have to talk to people. You're going to have to go outside. You might have to do a little 1-2, but it can start with something small. If you're not ready to start making deeper connection friendships yet, knowing that you're an introvert, you hate small talk, right? You hate it, because I know I do. So, what you're going to do the next time you're at the grocery store or getting cashed out or getting your nails done, just compliment somebody. You can compliment your nail tech, you can compliment the girl doing your hair, you can compliment, the cashier, whatever it is, because sometimes I'll just be trying to cash out or something, and then I'll look down as the person's handing me my receipt or my change if I have cash on me, which is very rare. But I'll be like, oh girl, I love your nails, can I see? And then we'll just end up chatting about like where they get their nails. We'll just end up chatting about where they get their nails done, something like that, something small. It doesn't have to be, not every interaction has to be a friendship. But you can start with that, because then it will start to get you more comfortable with speaking to people who are strangers. The other way that you can end up getting a friend is by meeting an extrovert. Once you get an extrovert, your extroverted friend will drag you around all the places you need to go. So for me, my brother is my extroverted friend. My best friend is an introvert just like me. But when we go outside, we make it a point to try and actually be extroverted, talk to people, respond, etc., etc. Because, for example, we went to the AGO this week and literally ended up running into a lady who's a friend of one of the art curators there, and we had this big, wonderful conversation. And I would like to touch on what we talked about, but it's actually a bigger conversation than this female friendship guide on a whole. So please check that out on my TikTok, because I will be posting about it sometime this coming week. But it's definitely just like, gotta be open to talk to people. Talking is scary. It can be terrifying. That stage fright, what if they don't like me? All those feelings can come and arise, and I still have them to this day. And that's okay, right? You can have those fears, but don't let those fears stop you from running your life. If I didn't decide to start going to events by myself, I would never have met some of the people that I've met now. So for example, I went to see The Weeknd in concert. I saw him twice. Day one, I was up in the nosebleeds by myself, right? Ball, had a blast. The next day I went to the concert, and I went into, I think, the 100s or 200s of the Sky Dome, right? And I ended up running into two girls who were there, their best friends, and they were like, oh my gosh, are you by yourself? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And they're like, no, you're with us now. Like, thank you so much. Well, I ended up running into the same girl again at a Paramore concert over 6 months later. Like, you never know where those connections can end up. Sometimes you just gotta, like, bite the bullet, rip that Band-Aid off, and do what you gotta do. If you need any tips, DM me, make a comment down below. If you're looking for places that are good for friends, I can maybe suggest some spots. if you do know that you're looking for friends, leave a comment down here and maybe leave your city, because there might be somebody else who's looking for a friend as well. And you never know until you put yourself out there. That's literally how it's always going to start. So, with that being said, we are at the end of another chapter of the Female Friendship Guide, my mom and Emilia's book. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys next week on the next chapter. And just a little aside, if you're wondering why the background looks like this, it's because this is how I normally film. I'd just be right over here, or normally I'd be right over here, just typing away, right? So I was gonna do that again and film where I filmed my first video, but I have all these boxes in my room, the background's not giving, so I decided to switch it up for y'all and put the window in the back and put my camera over here. If I showed you what you're currently on right now, you'd be shocked. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around for these types of videos. It's very different than what I've been doing before, but we're here to chat, we're here to kiki, we're here to have a good time, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye!